What is up, my reef addicts? Aaron here with Aaron's Aquatics, and today is going to be the second part of my mini-series covering all of the coral in my 250-gallon saltwater tank. If this is the first video you're watching, you might consider starting with the first one covering the LPS in my tank. Or don't, I'm not your mom, and technically these videos have no chronological order. That being said, today's video will be covering, and you might have guessed it from the title of this video, softies. These include corals such as zoanthids, mushrooms, leathers, green star polyps, and many more. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I have in my tank. First up, and probably something every reefer has kept at some point in the hobby, are green star polyps, or GSP. GSP is one of those beginner corals that is tolerant of low and high light, low to high flow, and can attach to pretty much any surface. I picked up my GSP at FJW Aquarium as a tiny itty bitty frag. Since that time, my GSP has almost completely covered the rock it was put on. Now, I gotta tell you guys, GSP is almost bulletproof as a starter coral. When I first booted up my tank, I had a mild case of dinoflagellates, which started growing over my GSP. That was the only time my GSP has closed up or shown any signs of stress. So as long as you don't have apocalypse algae, you should be okay. For those of you thinking about picking up some GSP, I highly recommend you think carefully about where you want to put it because it will grow everywhere if given the opportunity. If you're like me and you want to sit back and maybe not worry about curbing the high growth of this coral, place it on an island or maybe an isolated rock so that you don't have to worry about it taking over your primary rock structure. Likewise, and something I've thought about doing, is glue your GSP frags to the back wall of your tank. This lets you create this huge display of flowing grass, which can contrast your rockwork and coral quite well. Moving on, I have my zoanthids / single Paleothoa collection. Starting with the first zoa I got for this tank, here are my utter chaos zoas. The color of these zoanthids are what originally drew me to the zoas as a whole. The vibrant oranges and reds, the blue eye of Sauron in the center, and just a big old fat polyp made this zoa one of my favorites. Now, when I first picked this up, it had only about 4 or 5 polyps. Today, it has got into some crazy growth at around 20 polyps total. For anyone looking to get into zoas, this to me was a very easy coral to keep and relatively inexpensive when compared to my sticks. And grows like crazy. The next softie on the block is my bloodshot Speckle Krakatoa. Man, I hope that one day I am as creative as the coral breeders with names. Now, this may look exactly like a zoa, but it is in fact a Paleothoa. Want to know the difference between the two? What do I look like to you? Than from Tidal Gardens? I'm almost positive he has some amazing video telling you the scientific differences between them, and if I find one after editing this video, I'll put it in the description below. Anyways, this is probably my highest end, I'm doing air quotes here, designer soft coral. The Speckle Krakatoa normally fetches a price of $100 all the way to $150 per polyp. That's right, a single polyp is well over $100.
2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3, quick maths.
You know, I was lucky to pick one of mine up for about $80 at my local fish store. So hopefully, when I grow this beauty out, I can retire into that sweet life of coral luxury. Next, we have my OLA Jupiter zoanthid. Technically, it's my girlfriend's, but I take care of it, so guys, it's actually mine. To be honest, I don't think they should have called this zoa a Jupiter. When I think of Jupiter, I'm thinking two things. First, the planet. Oranges, reds, a splash of white. Second, I'm thinking of Mila Kunis's Emmy Award-winning sci-fi film, Jupiter Ascending. It was a thought-provoking treatise on human nature where culture and language barriers are broken through the power of substantial plot. The last of my zoas is this Jason Fox piece I picked up at Reef Currents 2018. I'll be straight, I don't remember the name of this one. I've browsed through Jason's entire website looking for the name, but I can't find it. Either way, these things are extremely orange, they grow amazingly quick, and I'm excited to see them grow over this entire rock within the next year. So that is my entire collection of softies. Yeah, I have exactly 44 pieces of coral, and only 5 of them are softies. Overall, I'm not the biggest fan of softies outside Zoas, Pallies, and maybe even GSP. It's not that I necessarily dislike them. It's just that when I think about buying coral, I ask myself, would I rather use this aquascaping space for a finger leather or a chalice coral? Would I rather, I don't know, put some Xenia on my rock instead of an overpriced Acropora? But all that said, I do want to add more softies to this tank. In fact, over the last month or so, I've been debating on the next piece of coral for this tank. As of now, my top choice is a Rhodactis mushroom, or more specifically, a bounce mushroom. To me, I absolutely love the asymmetrical design of these corals, the colors that they come in, and the unique line patterns that they can create. The downside to these guys is the cost. Holy hell, are they expensive. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. The next video in this series will be covering my SPS coral, which will be a big one. If you haven't already checked it out, last week I announced the start of my 90-gallon cube clownfish harem anemones specific tank. That name, guys. The tank itself should be arriving next week, so if you're interested in following me along with the beginning of a saltwater tank build, gently press the subscribe and bell button. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Aaron. This is Aaron's Aquatics. I'll see you next time.